Now, I'd like to introduce you to a philosophy that could really improve your life as a business person or a sole trader, solopreneur, or self-employed person. And it's this simple question. Are you doing the things that only you can do? Okay, well, let me expand on this, because asking this question can make a massive difference in how much you achieve and also your stress levels as well. As a business owner, you have certain skills. If you're self-employed, the chances are good you're selling your skill as a service, but you also might be selling, products as well. I've worked with all kinds of different businesses, service providers, and also product providers too. And the key question that I ask here is, are you doing only the things that you can do? For example, do you need to be doing your bookkeeping? Now, if it's just you and you don't have a great deal of money, yes, probably you do, because you can't afford to pay somebody else. But I would urge you, unless you are a bookkeeper or really, really love it, to contract out the bookkeeping, because you don't need to be doing it. Someone else can do it. Do you need to be doing all of the things in your business? Can you contract out some of your social media or some of your marketing, for example, or some of your content creation? I'm a freelance marketeer. I build websites. Why? Because business owners don't have the expertise and also the inclination to do it for themselves. I also send out emails for a handful of clients, write some content for other clients, again, because they don't want to do it, they can't do it, but I'm the specialist in this field. They are specialists in what it is that they deliver. So they're actually contracting stuff out that they don't need to do and focusing on the things that only they can do. And this is where this philosophy comes into play, because it can make your life so much easier if you feel like you're overworked, spinning too many plates, and just can't get enough done. And it starts with, again, asking this question, am I doing only things that I can do? And anything else, can I give this out to somebody else? Now, a good starting point with this is to do a work study. Now, one of my clients a few years ago, I encouraged him to write down, set his timer every 30 minutes, and then just make a quick couple of bullet points as to what he'd worked on for that previous 30 minutes. And then look at the end of the day at what he'd written down and trying to work out, are there things here that I could get my staff to do that I don't need to be doing? His role was to focus on the running of the business and the marketing, promotion, and strategic growth of the business. His role was not to manage production day by day in the workshop. That was actually the production manager's job. But he, because he'd been doing it for such a long time, felt that it was his job. It's not his job. Getting stuff out the door is his responsibility as the business owner, but doing the day-to-day job was not his. And he realized, actually, I could spend a lot less time there. It just needs to empower the production manager to do more. There was a bunch of admin stuff that he was doing, and he realized then, actually, this should be done by my PA. She should be doing all of this stuff. But because he'd been doing it for such a long time, he felt like it was, his responsibility. He's responsible for the results, but he's not responsible for doing the day-to-day work. And what happened was that he managed to, in the space of about a month, free up well over a working day a week just by making sure he was properly delegating the stuff that he personally didn't need to do. Now, this enabled him to focus a lot more on the growth of the business, a lot more on the strategic direction of the business. He started working on strategic partnerships. His sales started increasing because he was spending more time in the sales and marketing aspects of his business. And after a while, he even managed to give out some of that to a virtual assistant who specializes in that stuff. It worked incredibly well for him, and I know that it can work incredibly well for you. When I had my website design business, I had a handful of people and I had to learn how to delegate properly. I realized after a little bit of help from a business advisor that I was a bottleneck in the business, so I handed over project management to somebody else. I have to admit, under those circumstances, I was not a great project manager. Also worked out better ways of getting my team to handle their relationships with clients by using the strength of each team member. It's enabled me to just focus on the stuff that I needed to do, which was the strategic direction and growth of the business. Now, I didn't mind doing the marketing and the sales because I actually really enjoy that. But it enabled me to free up time and free up, more importantly, headspace, because I wasn't doing the day-to-day minutiae of the business. It was delegated out to my team. So the point of this whole video is to encourage you to think the same. Are there things that you could quite literally hand over to somebody else to free up space because you don't need to be doing them? And interesting enough, this come about because the owner of this cafe and I had a discussion a few weeks ago about him spinning all these plates and then him beginning to realize actually there's a bunch of stuff he needs to be handing over to other people. He needs to be focusing on the strategic direction and strategic management of the business, and everybody else in the team can be doing the day-to-day stuff. So have a think about this. It is important. It's an important philosophy for you to get to grips with. It can be the make or break in business growth, because you won't feel stressed and feeling like you have to do everything. And like I said, if it's just you in your business, you still don't have to do everything. There's plenty of help out there, virtual assistants, bookkeepers, all kinds of help, social media people, all kinds of people who can help you. And surprisingly, if you know where to look, you can find help quite cheaply and quite effectively too. So that's the message. Got any questions? Please ask them in the comments below. It really would be great to hear from you. And if you contract out or delegate out stuff, then I would like to hear about what it is that you give out and how much of a difference that's made to you in your business. But that's enough from me. Subscribe, like, share it out. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.